Hey there, DIY coders. Welcome to another video of HTML Quickie, the place to be to learn your HTML simply and easily. So before we get started, I want to make sure that you know what table tags are. And if you don't, please go in the description down below where I have some videos for you about table tags and everything related to table tags. And with that out of the way, let's get you prepared before we start coding. So have your text editor ready. This one, it doesn't matter what text editor you have. I have this one in particular that came with my computer. And I have the browser open. And make sure that your browser is open to the file that we are editing on, just like so. All right. And with that out of the way, let's get started coding. So what you see here is a table. With all this data, we'll have the column titles, we'll have the table data, and we'll have the results of the table data, which is the total price of the total cost of everything of this order. So we'll be learning three tags: thead, tbody, and tfoot. So what do they do? That's going to be a little bit of a hard one, so I will explain where they're placed first, and then I'll explain how they work, what they can do, I should say, and then we'll go on to what they were made to do. So we'll place them to the appropriate place. So thead, as you may have guessed, should be encapsulating the column titles. So just like so. And we just encapsulated the column titles. And for tbody, it should be encapsulating the data of the table. So tbody. And so that's the raw data. And this would be the resulting data, tfoot, that's being encapsulated by the tfoot tag. That's not supposed to be there. All right, let's just make another space here and call it tfoot ending tag here. And there we go. So this is the appropriate places. So before I explain further, let's save this file and then refresh your browser. My browser in particular will refresh automatically on save, but if your browser doesn't do that, go ahead and refresh, and you'll notice that the table hasn't changed at all. Again, I will explain further on about that. I will move on to what it can do. So say if we move thead, the whole thead section, down over here, for example, we save it and we refresh it, and you'll notice nothing changed. The headers then went down to the bottom of the table, as you would expect if you were to be writing out these headers just like so. That's because the browser recognizes that this is the thead of the table, so the headers of the table, because of these tags. So despite where we put despite where we put the whole header of the table, it will recognize this section as the header, and it should belong where it should belong, which is at the top of the table. So let's see what happens with tfoot. What will happen to tfoot if we set it to the top here? We save it, refresh it, and you notice nothing moved again. Rightfully so, because if we identify the bottom of the table to be this, the browser will have it rendered to the bottom of the table. And let's say we put, excuse me, let's put that back right there. Okay, so let's have this say now at the bottom. Let's see what happens. Save it, refresh it, and nothing again. So the browser knows where things should go. So that's what it can do, is just make sure that it's in place. What this also does is that for blind people, they have this software called screen readers, and so the screen reader, with the help of particular tags, it will guide the screen reader to read out the content appropriately. So there's another reason why we have these particular tags. Now, here's what it was meant to do according to the W3C that creates the HTML specification. What it's supposed to do is that it will be made to fit a certain size, like you'll specify a certain size in, say, CSS, right? And this would be scrollable, right? All these data points would be scrollable. The tfoot and thead would be separated from such a scrollable view. So if, to give you a more visual understanding of what that's supposed to look like, I will put some CSS code into what we have right now. So if you have no clue about CSS code, do not worry. This is just for demonstration of what it was supposed to do according to W3C. All right, so you'll notice we shrink the table somehow. You'll notice this little bar here. So this is actually letting you scroll through all the data points, right? Just like so. And that's how according to what I've read online, that's how it's supposed to work. And unfortunately, I'm not too sure how that was supposed to be implemented. My understanding is that the browser is supposed to somehow detect this. And so I've tried to set this tbody tag to a certain height. I couldn't get the effect I wanted. I mean, you can set it up to something like this, but the problem is you'll notice that things are not quite aligned. If you highlight it, you'll be able to notice it. The table cells are not aligned, so whatever the case is, so this is what it is at its current state. So thead, tbody, tfoot, it's not the absolute necessary. It's good for screen readers. And that's it for its functionality. Now you'll notice that I should have prefaced this in the beginning, but I have this code set up in this manner so it's easier for you guys to read. Typically, and I mean typically, the code would look something more like this. So I'll just have this copied and pasted right here, just like so. And the code would look something like, it's supposed to look something, or it's not supposed to look something like this, but typically when you write it out in the most standard way, this is how it would be written out. So yeah, so how this code, the reference of how this code is supposed to work, I'll have this link here in the description down below, just in case if you want to have a more clear idea of how it's supposed to work, or an extra reference of how this is supposed to work. But again, there is no like upfront functionality other than to help screen readers at the moment, and what you notice with switching all the sections up. So yeah, that's it for this HTML quickie. Hopefully you found this helpful. So if you did find this helpful, please leave me a like, and if I screwed up, you know what to do. Just give me a thumbs down, then I know I have to improve somehow. And if you have anything to say, I mean, I'd love to hear your comments down below. That'd be great. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. Later.